Hello, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Today is August, I think the 4th, right? Let me double check. Nope, today is August 7th, 2025. And I titled this video, Boasting in Your Weakness, or Is It Pride? You gotta hear the notes, like the subtle undertones sometimes when you're dealing with people, and even when you're listening to yourself, and when you're having conversations with people. So, I had a situation that happened, and this individual, right, was just met this person, right? And this individual was talking about their weaknesses and the things they've overcome, and they were just, this individual was talking to people that they've never met before. And in that, these people don't know this person. So the first thing they started talking to them about was like what they've overcome, this and that, blah blah blah, right? And as they were talking, what I heard was pride. And the reason why I heard pride and idolatry, because you got to be careful. Sometimes people will boast, because the Bible does say you boast about your weaknesses, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in talking about our achievements, talking about what we've done, talking about ourselves all the time. And sometimes it doesn't seem relatable. And then sometimes it just seems self-centered, because the whole conversation is about you and your accomplishments and what you've done, right? That gets old really quick, because people are sitting there like, whew, they're definitely self-centered. All they do is talk about themselves, right? But what I heard when I was listening to this individual talk was pride and idolatry, because it's easy sometimes to boast about your weaknesses, but put on a mask, right? That mask is actually you not wanting to be vulnerable, right? You not wanting to actually talk about what you're probably still dealing with, what you're probably still struggling with. And why I said it was pride is because when this individual was talking, they were talking to people that they met for the first time, all right? These are people that you don't know. I believe when you are meeting people for the first time and you're getting to know somebody, you should do soft introductions, right? It's like dating. Soft introductions. You don't necessarily go to the heavy stuff first, because you got to be careful that you don't paint a certain picture of yourself. I always believe that is your job to kind of, if you can, because you can't control everything, but if you can, control the narrative that people have of you. It's different when they have that narrative of you because you move a certain way, right? Or they observed it themselves, right? These are people who just met you, or people you're getting to know, and they observe it themselves, so they have a certain narrative of you. But when you feed them the narrative, right, and you give them ammo, it's like taking a gun, loading it, cocking it back, and having them aiming at you. But then you mad. Why you mad? You should be mad at yourself. Because you literally gave them an ammo, you gave them the gun, and now they're just shooting. They're shooting the target, which is you. So I think it's important to make sure that your boasting in your weaknesses is not being used as a mask of pride and also idolatry, because you're so caught up in like, look what I've overcome, look what I've done, look what I did. But the reality is that you haven't overcome it. You're still processing. It's okay to say, I'm still processing, I'm still learning, I'm still overcoming this, and I'm learning how to, instead of just jump into it and saying, I've overcome this, I'm great, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, look at me. A lot of us are so quick to want to say, I'm victorious, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the truth is, I think it's okay to say, I'm in my process. And I believe it's more relatable because it helps the conversation to flow more naturally. It helps people to even interject in a soft way where they're like, oh, I can relate to that. I'm in something right now, A, B, and C. And before you know it, you're having a conversation that flows where everybody is contributing. You're gleaning from everybody instead of it's just self-centered, this, look at me. It is prideful. It is idolatry, because all you're doing is glorifying yourself. Who wants to sit there and have a conversation? I know I don't. I don't sometimes even want to talk about myself. I want to learn from other people. Who wants to sit there and just have a conversation about you all the time? So, it was just a real life experience that I had, and I just saw it and I was like, this is why it's really important to make sure that your motives are really coming from a humble place. Because like I said, they were talking, this was a conversation this person was having with people he did not know, right? And the first thing you do is talk about this and talk about that. You were talking about some heavy conversations, some heavy topics, and these people don't know you. Now these people are going to have this image of you, right? And now you're going to be fighting to basically dismantle the image they have of you because you came on so heavy. I truly believe when you meet people, it should be a soft introduction where you're getting to know them, like, hey, what do you do? How are you doing? I know it probably seems a little boring or routine, but I personally am weary when people come on so heavy when you first meet somebody, because you don't know these individuals. They don't know you. You don't know them. Why are you coming off so heavy? And it should be soft, not so heavy. And that's why I heard pride and idolatry, because sometimes people, you use that as a mask because they don't want to be vulnerable. They want to be perceived a certain way. They want to look a certain way, like they have it all together and they're doing this and do that. But the reality is, when you have it all together, you don't have to talk about it. People just see it. They see it on you because you're walking it. It's an actual action. It's living it. You don't have to try to prove it. It's a difference. So that's just my little 2 cents, and that's all I got to say about that. But y'all take care. God bless and have a good day.